Hi, Kim.
I've been so excited.
How are you?
Really good. You?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. I'm unfortunately just getting over pneumonia, so I got a little bit of a frog in my throat. Bring my phone.
Well, dang it.
But that usually works itself out after a couple minutes. So.
Hi, Shar.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good. How's your family?
We're so good.
Oh, that's so good. It's good to
Yeah,
hear.
feels like just some very nice blessings and peace after some
Some stuff.
rough years. Same at
Right?
your
Yeah,
house, right?
I remember your horse wreck, and then I was watching some of your podcasts and heard about your other situation. Wow, you've been through the ringer too.
Yeah, now imagine how Eric had to feel putting me through all of that and getting me out of it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
great.
I think you'll agree probably with me that being the one sick is probably easier than the one taking care of the one sick.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Like what he has gone through and had to do because of all of
God
just really
bless
blessed.
caregivers for sure. It's just, yeah, humbling beyond words.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is for sure.
So you weren't supposed to be here. Like I didn't think post stroke I was gonna get to have this chat with you because you weren't looking any better than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they told me I wouldn't be here too. They
I know.
was diagnosed. They gave me, possibly 2 years to live to get
Yeah.
my affairs in order. And but it's
You
just
proved
one of
them
those
wrong.
things, when she said those words, I just instantly was like, nope, she's wrong. We can beat this. And of course, it's been a brutal battle, but we figured out some things and
We've met some
made
reversals.
her. Yeah, a sip of tea here.
Okay. We've met some reversals too.
Yeah, we met
What does that mean? We've met some reversals.
several reversals. So unfortunately, with ALS, people think it's a terminal disease, which when you look at the statistics, it is. But
It is, yeah.
there's more than 50 documented reversals out there, and
Oh, you've met those people.
I've met most of them, and I've seen people actually reverse,
Nice.
and I know people
Like
that
fully
are,
functional?
yeah,
Like they reverse the symptoms too?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
working out, yeah, just everything. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and I've witnessed it happen. And I know people that are reversing currently. I stabilized, which is a big deal, but I still have a long, long ways to go.
Then we get pneumonia or something and it sets us back for a minute, but
Sure helps, doesn't it?
push through. Yeah.
Yeah, see, with me, I mean, I was never sick. I never had issues. I was just constant on the go. And then about 20 years ago, I developed type 2 diabetes, and everything kind of went downhill from there. I got what's called CRPS. I don't know if you've heard of that, complex regional pain syndrome. It's the most
I think I
painful,
remember
scary
you
thing.
telling us about that.
Well,
Yeah.
we met
Oh,
with them.
that's right. We
We
were
went to
there
dinner.
when I was
Char, do you
first.
want to sit down and chat with us?
Oh, I'm right here, but I'm not ready.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I
You're
look
beautiful still.
you're so sweet.
Okay, I'm good.
I got Sterling ready. I got him all ready to go. But I'd love to sit down and
But yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of started it. They thought I had a bone infection, and so how it first started is back in college. I got turf toe, and
From football, right?
Yeah. And so that toe, once it healed, the toenail itself kept going. Fungus,
Yeah, yeah.
wouldn't go away. And so after, geez, 20 years, maybe they finally sent me to a podiatrist, and he took my nail off right there in the office, and I had a big hematoma and tumor under my nail. And
Ooh.
it was benign, everything was fine, but the pain
You
never
kept your
went.
toe though?
Yeah, the pain never went away. They took off my toenail.
They took off the tip.
But then they thought I had a bone infection, so they amputated the tip of my toe, and I didn't have a bone infection. But then the
Oh, you did
symptoms,
not.
no, and then the symptoms just went berserk.
I did have a bone infection.
Yeah, I
And
heard that in your
this was
podcast.
amputated, and I needed to play the piano. So they said, well, you're going to die if you don't take that thumb off. And I was like, well, I don't agree. Leave me my thumb. So I can't hold a pencil, save my life. But it actually increased my piano from 8 keys to 9, because it's like
Ah.
it's just a total Frankenstein joint that, but
It looks
I'm
great.
happy with it. But I had to be on cooked antibiotics and a central line for over a year to get it out. They told you had osteomyelitis. Is that what they said?
No,
They
they just
immediately.
thought I had a bone infection, and
There are tests to do before you cut the dang foot off.
they did all kinds of things on me, and it was a mess. So they
Yeah.
amputated the tip of my toe
Okay.
and permanently removed what toenail was left. And that was a botch because parts of my toenail grow back. So it's kind of
Oh,
a
great.
pain. But
Yeah. Did it affect your balance, or you were able to function fine without the tip?
it was just the pain. The pain symptoms just went berserk and never got better. So my
Yeah.
toe would heal, but the pain would get worse and worse. And so of course they put me on bed rest, and they put me on painkillers, and it was just getting worse and worse. And so we finally did our own research and found out that's the worst thing you can do with this disease. You got to push through and exercise and get off any, painkillers and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
it's
so,
hard. I loved
so,
watching you with the bees.
yeah,
That was the wildest videos.
we did 53 yesterday. I do 45, and I
You're
just
still
wasn't
doing it,
paying.
so it must be working.
Oh yeah. I contribute that pretty much solely to where I'm at today. I've done every treatment under the sun, but this is the only thing I've done consistently. And when you compare me to, unfortunately, others that have been diagnosed even years after me, it's a completely different look and situation. And it can only be from the bees.
Yeah, I did some research on it, I think, when you started it, and I was just amazed by the properties and the healing and the pain, because
Yeah.
the other people that do it just talk about how much it hurts every
It
time.
hurts. It actually hurts worse now than it ever has, because what the bee venom does, it goes in and repairs that myelin sheath of the nerve. And so my nerves are healed. So now
Hurts
the
more.
stings even hurt worse.
So mean.
But it's pretty amazing stuff. Well, now it's finally starting to pop its head up in the medical world, because it's killing brain cancer in less than a minute. I mean,
Oh,
breast
gosh.
cancer in less than a minute. It's amazing.
Wow.
But we've helped people. I had a buddy with full blown arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and his fingers were completely seized for years. And we started stinging him the arthritis protocol when he was up here in Alaska fishing. And
Mhm.
they kept it going. 9 months later, his rheumatoid arthritis is at a zero. And he has no pain, and he's golfing every day and just
Wow.
everything. And we have just now dozens and dozens of different stories like that. We had a girl with chronic migraines. One sting a year keeps her out of migraines. Of course, it started with, maybe a sting every couple weeks or whatever. Now she'll come get a maintenance sting maybe once or twice a year, and she
A
keeps her
maintenance
migraines
sting. That's brilliant.
away.
Um, how many bees do you keep then?
Want to grab the hut, honey? We have a hive, several hives, but of course, here in the winter they don't work. We'll kill them. So we order them from Redding, California. And there's a company that specifically raises bees for apothecary, and which is bee venom
How do you
therapy.
spell that? Apathary? Apathary, maybe?
Yeah, sounds about right. I can say
Apathary.
it. I don't know how to spell it.
Oh, I'll
How
have
do
to
you
find
spell
it.
it? How do you spell
Oh,
it?
That's
So
oh, no
that,
way. You have an
so
indoor
that,
hive?
yeah. That's like a little hut that you can keep them in to like take
Oh
them out to
my gosh.
sea.
Do
we
they
call
die
that a
when
bee
they
hut.
sting?
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah.
so she's like Mr. Miyagi. She's got the long tweezers and she just grabs the bees. And most of the time you just put them on. But see, honeybees don't want to sting you because they're going to die. And
Right.
so sometimes she'll have to push on their butt to get them to sting. But
Char's scary. Like nobody should twist with Char. It's
yeah,
just
she
a
can
bad
do
idea.
45 bee stings in 13 minutes. So
She's so fast.
yeah, she's gotten really, we call her Mr. Miyagi because if one gets out, she just snatches it out of the air.
Wow. I think I need to see that in action, Char.
I can send you a video.
Okay, deal.
Yeah, it's amazing medicine. So when I had CRPS, my son that lives in Mexico, he had a neighbor that was there, and when I was limping around, and he said, "Hey, I used to look like you. You need to do B-Vent." They told us all about it and his story, which is amazing, and it's pretty much 100% for MS and Parkinson's. In fact, the
That's incredible.
doctor that taught us, he don't know anybody with MS or Parkinson's that hasn't healed that he's worked with. So
That's incredible.
yeah, so it's pretty amazing. But with CRPS, if you poke other parts of the body or whatever, it could spread. And so we're like, no way are we doing bee stings. But then after getting diagnosed with this, it just was kind of the first thing we thought of. And so we trusted our intuition and headed to Mexico and went and learned from this professor in Torreon, Mexico. And got stung and all that, and actually met somebody with ALS, an elderly gentleman that was in a wheelchair but was doing quite well, looked good and, everything. And at the time of diagnosis, throughout the middle of the day, I couldn't really hold my head up. My head would just my neck was too
Yeah.
weak. And after a couple days of stinging, that went away. And
Just a
the,
few days?
and the webs of my hands were so thin, if you put them up in the sun, you could dang near see through them. And same thing after a few days of stinging, they started beefing up. And so we knew we were on to something.
Definitely.
And the first year I was doing super good. other than just some of the atrophy in my shoulders and hands, you really wouldn't know. I was walking pretty good and I could still fish and hunt and everything I like to do. But then I fell and got a concussion. And after that, I've since had 3 or 4 more concussions. And
Gnarly.
that's when my legs started to go. And but
I don't know the story of you adopting Jose. I don't know if I've forgotten it or I missed it completely. I don't know how you have an older son when you had a baby when I met you, and that was not his name. You had Colton,
yeah,
is that
yeah,
right?
it's amazing story. We need a lot more time to tell the whole thing, but um, long story short, he came across to America when he was 7 or 8 years old. He's got 2 different birth certificates, so we don't know how old he really is.
Wow.
We think he's 42. I claim he's 41. He claims his older birth certificate at 42. But he came across America by himself at 7 or 8 years old. Didn't know where he was. He was actually at a Pep Boys and went to put some money in the candy machine. His money wouldn't work. So he went up to the counter and they didn't speak his language. He knew he was in America.
He got across the border accidentally.
Yeah, just walked across, got in a crowd or something. Next
Wow.
thing you know, he was in, I think it was,
Said he was kind of following a family.
where I know the border, it just slipped my mind, but it's near
California border?
Arizona. Arizona.
Like Nogales, Yuma,
No,
Boltville, Lexico?
maybe it was there. Maybe it was California. I can't remember. Um,
I think it was California.
it's one of the bad borders still. I just can't remember the name of it.
Not
But anyway,
Tijuana, maybe
not
Mexicali?
Tijuana. No,
Mexicali?
no.
Hmm.
Anyway, it'll probably
Anyway,
come to me.
yeah,
But anyway, he lived on the streets
at
until he
7.
was 13, just surviving, and then got picked up and got put in a facility. And he was always tiny for his age and stuff. He was always very petite, very small.
Hmm.
So he was pretty scrappy, really
I
street
bet he was
smart,
tough. You'd have to be.
and really scrappy.
Yeah.
And anyway, he, after all kinds of, in and out of the facility and trying to send him back to Mexico and everything else, he came back. And the way they used to travel is they would jump on box cars of trains.
Yeah.
And he was heading to Oregon and he got off in Salt Lake. He didn't know he was in Salt Lake, but he got off the train, figured out he's in Salt Lake, hooked up with some street kids, end up taking their car, borrowing their car. They actually let him
It's a
go.
borrow.
He was going to Oregon to get a friend, and then they were going to come back. Well, he pulled over in Roy to get gas, and that exit, you either go right on the Hill Air Force Base or left towards town.
Yeah.
Well, he turned right, and that was before 9/11, so there wasn't big, huge gates or anything. There was a gate. He thought it was a fruit check stand. All he had to eat for the next few days was this basket of fruit. So he speeds through the gate on the Hill Air Force Base. Long, high speed chase. They
Uh-uh.
they finally get him and got him with M16s pointed at him, and
Is
he
this scrappy little kid?
he has a hobby of collecting money from all over the world, and it's just coins and stuff. But
Yeah.
they interrogated him as a spy forever, and
Oh.
anyway, they finally didn't know what to do with him, so they put him in detention center.
Oh, okay. This is starting to make sense.
and they put him in a foster home, and with his luck, he got put in an abusive foster home. So he
Uh-uh.
runs. So he runs away back to the detention center.
No, he
You
didn't.
don't hear of that, but he runs away back to the detention center.
He went there
Well,
on purpose.
yeah.
Oh boy.
So I got a call on Christmas Day from a judge. You don't
Oh
get
my
calls. You
gosh.
don't get calls from judges, especially
No,
on
especially on
Christmas Day.
Christmas.
And then he just said he had a case he needed to discuss with me, and he wanted me in his quarters at 8 a.m. the next morning. And so I'm like, you never go to the judge's quarters. I'm like, what the heck? Well,
Yeah.
anyway, he wanted me to go interview this kid and told me everything he knew about the situation.
Mm.
It was just one of those things. The first time I met him, I just felt his spirit, and
You got a son for Christmas.
yeah, so I put him in of our foster homes with the Polynesian family, and
Hmm.
he just thrived. To this day, I've never seen anybody owe more restitution than he did. And he paid off every penny. He took the bus
Oh,
every day to the rodeo grounds and cleaned horse stalls and built barns and
oh my gosh.
paid off all his restitution. He ended up graduating top of his class, being the captain of the wrestling team, got a full
That's so
ride
cool.
scholarship to the University of Utah, went on an LDS mission. I mean, he's an outstanding young man.
That's
So,
amazing. I missed all of this.
and then fast forward a few years later, he's just about to finish school, and he's running a warehouse in Brigham City. Because we adopted him, we assumed he would get citizenship or at least a green card or anything, but they wouldn't do it.
Why?
So if we would have adopted him at 16, he would have had automatic citizenship.
Um,
What's called a special immigrant juvenile,
okay.
because he was abused and basically didn't have a home in Mexico.
Right.
Well, so we were hiring attorneys and just trying to get this kid citizenship, and it just never worked out. And one day, life's going great, and they round him up and they want to deport him, but he chose to stay in jail in Spanish Fork and fight it, because we had permission for him to be here from the U.S. Attorney's office.
Yeah.
But that don't matter when you're talking ICE and federal regulations and stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a crazy deal. And anyway, after fighting it for a year, they kind of forced deported him.
He stayed in jail a year trying to get that resolved.
Yeah. And what's crazy, he said, Dad, I haven't met one criminal since I've been here. They're all like farmers from Idaho and stuff, the criminals just sign their deportation papers and leave, and then come back with a backpack next week. And so he stayed to try and fight it with all these good people. And anyway, he ended up getting deported anyway. And we're still to this day trying to get him back home. But he's thriving there. He's got a great
Oh,
job, a
good.
wonderful family. He's about to have his third child, and
Did you say on your text message that you're getting another baby any day? That's the baby?
that's his, yeah.
You
So
got
we'll
10
we'll have
grandkids.
10 grandkids any day now. Yeah.
How many do we have?
Yeah.
Zero. Someday.
Yeah, floodgates will open someday. Then
Well,
next
only
thing you
Nicholas
know,
is married. So,
yeah. Yeah, they're fun. There's nothing like being grandparents, that's for sure. So,
yep. We'll enjoy it.
but yeah, we're finally gonna help him write his book. I've been telling him ever since I met him he need to write a book.
Definitely.
And now we're going to kind of blend our stories and triumph and everything and write his
Ooh.
story. And so we're looking forward to that. And
That will be beautiful.
because his story it's unbelievable. It's almost unrealistic, but it's really cool. Really cool story.
Yeah.
So,
Let us know if you need any help.
yeah, that'd be great.
So Eric and I were talking about you this morning, and I looked at the message that you sent, and I said, I think they might be the only people I know married longer than us. And he's like, yeah, they were married when you met them. So
Yeah, we
we
got
were
married
married in
young.
22.
We have a
Or
fun
no,
little
92.
story. We have a fun little story too. I first met Shar in third grade and was
Oh,
madly
you're
in
from
love with
Wyoming?
her. Yeah, when my parents divorced and I moved to Utah in third
Oh,
grade,
okay.
halfway through third grade, and I was in her class and
How
just
did I not know
fell
this?
madly in love. We still have, we wrote love letters and
Oh my gosh, that's
third
the
and fourth
cutest.
grade, and then we never saw each other until 10th grade, and then she came to my school, Cottonwood High School, and we shared 10th grade together and dated a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
then never saw her again until after high school, and then I was like, I'm never letting her get away again, and so
Not again.
I was 19, she was 18 in 1990, and been going strong ever since. So
So I came to SUU in 90 and met Eric that fall. So you would have been there a year longer than
91,
me?
we got there in 91. After getting married, we went to our family ranch in Yost, Utah. So I brought this big city girl from Salt Lake to a town that she made the population 31. She changed population from 30 to 31.
Oh, wow.
And the closest town with anything, like a grocery store or anything, was Burley, Idaho, which was like 70 miles away. So it was a little bit of a culture shock for her, but
And you didn't even
we
give her
loved it.
southern Utah where it could be warm. You made her do the gnarly Utah, Wyoming, Idaho winters.
Yeah. But we loved it. In fact, we kind of worked a deal and got our own ranch, and we're just going to do that. But then my dad and the guy that owned the ranch fell apart, and so I said, "Yeah, let's go to college." And
Am I making up that you're from Fort Bridger? Is that not true?
yeah, Bridger Valley. I'm more from the Robertson area, which is just probably 10 miles
Same
from Fort
place,
Bridger. But
Mountain
yeah,
View,
same.
Robertson.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, Bridger
And
Valley. That's where my home. That's what I consider my hometown.
yeah, that's where my family all lived for generations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
the
maiden name?
Lewis.
Okay, I know some Lewis's. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
My grandpa used to work at the Mountain View Bank.
Oh
Um,
wow.
my uncle used to run the power plant. They used to have the bar on the corner. Um,
Oh,
oh, that's Mountain View, right? Like you
yeah,
go,
that's Mountain View. Yeah, Mountain
yeah,
View,
like the old
Lyman,
bar on the corner. Like his
Cowboy
my
Bar, the
aunt,
Cowboy Bar. Yeah, yeah.
yep, my which aunt was that? It was Marge, maybe, or June, or I don't know. And then Kate Lewis and Glenn Martin, and like if there was a rancher family to be had, they were probably related to us.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
And did you interact with the Walker family?
Oh, very much. In fact, my stepmother's sister is a Walker.
Yeah,
So
my sister married into the Walker family.
yeah, I know lots of Walkers. You pretty much know, Lewis's, Martin's. Um, I used to hunt on a lot of
So
properties
Lyman,
over there.
Wyoming must be named after you,
Yeah, it was
your
my
family.
great 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 grandpa founded a Mesa Lyman, found in Lyman, Wyoming.
So were your relatives there for Fort Bridger times too, and all the pioneer times?
Yeah, the rendezvous and all that. My sister, my brother, my stepmom, and my uncle, aunt and uncle still live there.
Yeah,
But,
I've got a lot of family still there. Too cold for me.
but they're the last of the Lyman clan there.
Mm,
But
yeah, we still have quite a bit in Wyoming, and um, all of the good old cowboys have passed away, and the lands have been divided, and it's different.
yeah, yeah, it's a sad deal. My dad, ran a ranch. He had a little bit of stake in a big ranch there, and so I used to bring my boys from the program, and we'd go over there and brand and ride horses and gather
That's
calves
so
and
cool.
all that, and so when he started getting sick and got out of the ranch, that was a hard time, because that was our family's life for
Right.
as long as I can remember. So it was kind of sad not having the ranch to go back to, but luckily that was right about the time we were transitioning, moving to Alaska, and so Alaska has almost completely filled that void for me. So Alaska is
Why did
amazing.
you end up in Alaska? I don't remember this part either.
Well, it's always been the top of my bucket list. When I was in second grade in Mountain View, Wyoming, we had a pen pal, a class pen pal, and it was actually a native from Alaska
Native Alaskan.
in
Hmm.
in prison.
Oh,
But
the
he was,
second graders. That's so
yeah,
Wyoming.
yeah.
We're
So
so
they
short
would,
on people, we recruit prisoners for pen pals.
and his
That's so
stories and what he ate and what he made, and
yeah.
he would send us pictures, and I was so mesmerized by it. And so Alaska was always the top of my bucket list, but I never thought I could afford it. And then in '98, the same year I was starting Triumph, my friend, and also my mentor, one of my mentors, he said, "Hey, I'm going to take you to Alaska. You're going to need about this much money." And so it was doable. I saved up and we ended up going to Alaska, and I just fell in love and been
That's all you needed
went
was
back
one hit.
went back every summer after that. And we actually wanted to move the company up there because Alaska still to this day has a massive need for residential treatment for boys and girls. But
Hmm.
so we went to Alaska and said, okay, this is what we'll do. This is our program. Well, they wanted us. So
Of course they did.
we acquired property and got the ball rolling and went to Juneau to sign the contracts and found out contracts are closed. And Alaska is the one state that has its own Medicaid. It had been closed since the 80s, so it was a catch 22. They got this massive need, but realistically, what they saved so much money sending kids south that they never opened the contracts. And
Mm.
the problem is they go to the lower 48 and get stable or whatever, but then they send them right back to the same
Yeah.
dysfunction,
Yep. Same
which is
crowd, same result.
probably the biggest part of our program is planning for that transition. In the old days, when we used to work with state kids, we had a full continuum of care. So after residential treatment, they would go to independent living or foster care or home with services, and
Yeah, they weren't just
so
let out
when
to
we
go
went to
figure it
Alaska
out.
and said this is how we do aftercare and blah blah blah. I mean that was the biggest thing they needed and still need to this day. But yeah, it was a catch 22, so we were never able to make that happen. So what I did is I started bringing kids to Alaska for 2 weeks every summer for fishing and wildlife biology
I remember
education
pictures
trip.
of that. They looked so free. They just
Yeah,
looked
we
like
still do
kids.
it to this day. It's a big part of the program now, and Alaska has such a cool just spirit about it. It just kind of helps jumpstart kids. And, we'll have kids that are kind of dragging their feet in the programming and treatment and whatnot. And they come to Alaska and get that spark they needed. And then I got diagnosed. So I quickly was progressing. And so I had to pull away from the company. So I was working mostly behind the scenes, but what I started doing is clear back in the early 2000s, I would get kids after they finished the program, I'd get them jobs up here being deckhands or
Yeah,
working in
plenty of
lodges or
opportunity.
things like that. And so I had a bunch of kids doing that. And then I started kind of an independent living program here where I would still keep coaching kids and
That's cool.
so I could still work with them, but they'd be in a normal life setting here and still have a bunch of them here and they're doing great. And a lot of them have made Alaska their home and others have moved back and are still super successful. And so, yeah, Alaska's definitely home.
That's
So,
beautiful.
yeah, and going traveling for treatment's tough. So we've kicked around the idea of going to different places, but we just can't do it. It's just there's a freedom
Home
here
is
that
home.
you don't
Yeah.
realize in the lower 48. There's just it's kind of like being in Wyoming in the 70s. I mean, it's just really small town and everybody knows everybody, but everybody supports everybody, and it's just kind of a neat, fun place. So.
Are your kids in Alaska with you?
No, that's a tough one. I've had all three of my kids here at one time, and we just lost our daughter and her husband just moved just last
Oh, I thought you were going
Saturday.
to tell me they died, Sterling.
No,
Moving is a lot easier to handle.
Yeah.
but ironically for us, it was like a death because
That's
we're
so
so far away, and we pretty much raised these grandkids. They lived with us since they were born.
Can't just hop on a plane easy.
And it's not real easy to travel anymore. So it was rough. I was
Yeah.
just shocked how hard it was on us. But yeah, my brother moved here though a couple years ago, and so he
I think
he
I ever
helps
met your brother.
he helps us out quite a bit. But
That's great.
he lived with us there in Cedar City for a while, and then he lived in Cedar City for a while. You probably have met him, but
Probably.
I know Eric's met him. I actually met Eric through one of my Mountain View buddies that was rooming with Eric, David
Dave.
Housekeeper. Yeah.
Dave, yeah.
And that's how I originally met Eric, early 91, late 90, 91, something like that.
Okay, so we were already dating and we were probably engaged by the time
You were
I
dating,
met
yeah.
you.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
really shortly after, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He remembers working in the baseball card store with you.
yeah. Yeah. I've always been an entrepreneur, when I was a kid, I was always mowing lawns and shoveling sidewalks and whatever. And then in eighth and ninth grade, I taught breakdancing lessons. And I mean, I just
Oh,
did a
I
little
hadn't
bit
heard
of
that.
everything.
Ah,
And then in college, I always
breakdancing
had a couple,
lessons.
I always had a couple businesses and raised
Yeah.
livestock and all that. And so I've always kind of been an entrepreneur, but yeah, that was fun back then, having the card shop and stuff. But I think about those days all the time. I've always accredited all my success to just surrounding myself with such amazing people. And same with softball, we had that neat little softball team and
I still
uh,
have the world championship softball pictures on our walls.
yeah,
Do you
I
remember
mean,
that?
this little team from Cedar City, we We had a
We were
great
so
team.
outmatched. We
And
should
we,
not have won.
yeah, especially that first year in the World Finals, we beat the number one seed from Hawaii. I remember
From
that.
Hawaii, yeah.
It just kind of went from there, and we ended up taking ninth in world with not
It was
even only
scrappy.
having 10 guys there, barely to fill the team. That was fun
I
time.
know there was no room for injuries. That there
Yeah,
was just no spares.
no, that was fun. That was fun. In fact, my son threw together a softball team this year, and we,
Fun.
we went and watched our first couple games. And the first thing I said is, "Oh man, they need Eric bad. Their pitching was horrendous." But but yeah, I just it was fun. It was fun.
We had
We
kind of an
worked
idyllic
hard. We
college,
worked
didn't we?
hard, practiced a lot, and we were
Yeah.
successful. It was fun.
And me and Shar were your best cheerleaders.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Well,
we fed you pretty good too, if I remember right.
a little too good, probably. But that's when I gained all my weight playing softball. Who would have known?
You guys had the best metabolisms. It didn't matter. Did
Yeah.
not matter. Do you keep in touch with anybody?
I talked to Mark Stein once in a while. I
We
ran
talked to him like
into
a decade ago. Is he still in Paraguay?
he's in Beaver now. Yeah, he runs
Okay,
the food at the hospital. They got a little restaurant there in the cafeteria and stuff, and so he
cool.
runs that for them. But I run into a few of the guys off and on. It's always fun to see them when we're in Cedar or something. A
We've
few
kept
of
pretty
them,
good touch with Mike.
a few of them are on social media, so I see them. But yeah, them were great times back
We
then.
should have a softball reunion, shouldn't we?
We really
and,
should.
and
We really
challenge
should.
your kid. Say, us old guys can get you.
We really should. And all their kids have gone on and been really successful in sports, like your boys in baseball and stuff. I know Clay Toms. I think Clay Toms' boy played some pro ball.
Yeah,
Um,
really.
and
It's
there's
exciting.
yeah, so it would be neat to get the whole crew together. That would be cool. I've thought of that several times.
I just, I don't think I could have picked a better place for college.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. Great
Mhm.
school. Great school.
It's so big now.
Oh man.
Gosh, it's big.
Char's sister and her niece and nephew live there, so we go there quite often, and I just can't believe how giant the town is now.
Can you believe Mindy is the president now? She went
Who?
to school with us, Mindy Benson.
Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, she was in classes with us.
I know the
She's now the
name for
president
sure.
of SUU.
Wow,
She's the first woman president.
awesome.
I think she was student body president when we were going there.
Yeah, that's what the first thing that came to
Hmm.
my head is I think she was student body. So
Yeah, so she was in running student body, and then I was in the debate stuff, and so we just ran into each other, various things. But I think she's doing a great job as president there.
it's awesome.
Hmm.
It's really
Has
cool.
been there her whole career. Like
Yeah.
that's been her dedication since college.
Well, that's pinnacle of really putting in the time. I mean, what an awesome deal to be president of the university and starting off
She
there,
went to.
so that's pretty
And
cool.
crazy enough, so you remember Eric's parents were working at the university.
Uh-huh.
So Mindy worked for Harmon.
Okay.
Then after Harmon and Judy retired, then our son Derek went his freshman year prior to COVID. He went to SUU. And he worked at the alumni house for Mindy.
Oh wow.
It's just like this long trajectory.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
Did both your boys go there? I knew one did. But
Derek went to SUU. He was going to be a pilot. So he was in the aviation program. And
okay.
then there was just a lot of upheaval when COVID happened. We had to go get him. He had flown in and left his car at the airport. And so I had to drive him back to Vegas. And we had to break into the parking lot because there was no one there. It was like the only car there. No one was staffing it. And so I took my truck and, have truck. We'll get anywhere you need to go.
There you go.
And we left Eric behind because he would have said, Tim, don't you go over that curb. And I would have put it in 4-wheel drive and gone right over the curb, which I did.
It's awesome.
Eric still
Yeah,
tries
boy,
to
COVID
get me to
was a
follow
mess,
rules.
wasn't it? COVID just messed everything
Oh,
up. But
what a
we're
mess. Yeah.
we're still suffering from it. The youth industry took a huge hit from COVID, and they're still struggling. Mostly, especially in Utah, because they never lowered the unemployment rates, and so we're competing with McDonald's and Walmart and stuff for employees, and we've never been in that situation before. So it's been rough, it's been brutal.
Have you noticed? Well, let me preface it with we're noticing in K-12 education, especially there's a few tipping points for kids like Kaylin's age group that missed out on most of their junior senior year. Their transition into college has been just ugly. But I think worse off are the kids that were ready to start kindergarten and never got to go to kindergarten, first grade, and then started mid second grade. That 2.5 years has set them back socially and emotional regulation wise to a really scary degree where like discipline is a huge issue, like just being able to socialize with their classmates, like being able to put up with each other at recess is an ongoing, like I don't know when they're going to catch up socially because of that gap.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've always been anywhere from 50 to 80% minimum drug and alcohol addiction. It's always been our majority. And now by far the vast majority is behavior issues, screen addiction and things like
What
that.
did you
And
say? Scream addiction?
screen screen
Scream.
addiction,
Oh, TV.
computers and
Okay, yeah, yeah.
phones and
I thought you
laptops,
meant like screaming. I was
tablets.
going to say that's new.
But yeah, and just almost introverted in a lot of ways, and
I would go as
socially,
far as saying
so
socially backward.
yeah, so exactly. That's a good analogy right there, because it's rough, and and see, we I always worked with state contracts, I always worked
Yeah.
with kids from the Department of Juvenile Justice Services or Youth
Right.
Corrections.
Right.
And
Did you work at the corrections in Cedar City
yeah, I
with
worked
Eric?
with Eric there, yeah.
Did you know I did my student teaching there?
Kind of vaguely remember that. Yeah, I do now.
It
Yeah.
was a shock. They brought me in and taught me how to throw somebody down the first day. I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm a Wyoming girl. Let's do this.
Yeah, I was that was I kind of contribute that to a big part of my success in this industry,
I agree.
because we worked with some really good professionals there, and we worked with the toughest kids. We got the toughest kids from all over the state. We're talking murder, rape,
Yeah.
major gang stuff, major drugs, whatever the case may be. We worked with them all.
And
And
they were some of the nicest kids I've ever met.
yeah, they could be.
Well, they
Hey,
definitely had their sides, but if they liked you, they were the
oh,
best.
if you
They were
show them
so
respect
entertaining.
and stuff, they always, yeah, they're. In fact, I miss working with the state kids. I mean, that definitely was my passion. But
Yeah.
like government, they kept increasing responsibilities and cutting back pay and cutting back,
Increase in
programs.
liability.
Yeah, so we dropped our contracts with the state and went fully private. And we work mostly with educational programs like the California Department of Education. And so we get a lot of kids from there and a lot of kids from adoption agencies and things like that.
Wow.
My son having RAD so bad, reactive attachment disorder, that kind of became a specialty of ours. And I recruited as far as I know, world renowned expert on RAD, and she became our therapist and really taught us all the therapeutic tricks with RAD and whatnot. And so we always have a pretty good, significant population of kids with RAD. And that's really gone up since COVID too. But we figured out some activities and things that really worked well with RAD, like our retriever training program, for example.
That's what you're gonna say. That's one of my favorite things to watch you guys do is that
Yeah,
retriever
I mean
program.
it's amazing, and we got kids now that are compete worldwide or are very good professional trainers making at least double what I've ever dreamed of making. and
That's so cool.
and so it's yeah, it's
How many puppies do you have out there named Sterling?
I don't know about that, but we a funny story is my son, Jose, they're naming their daughter Sterling. So I finally get a kid named after me. That's going to be my granddaughter.
I don't think you're complaining.
No.
No, I've already got her nickname Junior. So,
That's so much fun. Do you get them all cowboy boots?
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll get cowboy gear for sure. Dallas Cowboy and Western Cowboy.
You can keep the Dallas Cowboys, but give me
Well,
the Wyoming
I
Cowboys
I
and we're on.
usually don't admit that anymore, but
Probably
it's
wise.
been tough being a Cowboy fan for the last 25 years,
Hmm.
30 years maybe. It's been a long time. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, the retriever training program is, in my opinion, probably the most dynamic part of our program, because I also learned not only how to teach the boys how to train a retriever, but them retrievers, Labradors especially, they just have a natural therapy dog. It just comes naturally to them.
Yeah,
So
they
we
can't help
learned
it.
how to train diabetic alert dogs, and we learned how to
Wow.
train emotional support, therapeutic dogs, but we just did that kind of as a side with the retriever training.
Yeah.
And it's just worked out wonderful. And in fact, we've had the opportunity to help several vets that come back with severe PTSD, and we have dogs that are program dogs or what we call a washout. Like they might not be set for them
Oh,
big
yeah, yeah.
field
Hmm.
trials and everything, but they're still wonderful companions and really good hunters or whatever. And so we were able to donate several dogs to several different of these vets, and it was awesome to see the impact it made on their lives too. So,
Have you ever studied the research about heart rates and, in particular, dogs and horses
oh yeah,
or
yeah.
PTSD?
I've always wanted to do equine therapy, and that's the dogs kind of took that part for us because we didn't have the facility and land for it, but they got a lot of that when we'd go to Wyoming and do the ranch work and stuff.
Definitely.
Um, but yeah. I mean, it's I'm shocked that there's not more programs that do it. There's only
Well, they're
one other
blowing up.
program that works with dogs that we,
Mm.
but I haven't been in the industry for a while, so I can't say for sure. But as of 5 years ago, there was one other program that worked with dog. They were actually also a RAD program,
Okay.
and they didn't train them to do much. They were just there for therapeutic support and stuff. And
Gotcha.
they work kind of mostly with golden retriever mix dogs. So they kind of
Mm.
found a type of dog that worked the best for them, but their success rates are awesome. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm surprised not more program. A lot of programs will get a dog or two, but
I
to
think it's
have,
been about 5 years since the Veterans Administration released the data on it, but they're saying that the number one therapeutic treatment result wise is a co-regulation of emotion, either equine or dog. That within a certain, like with a horse, it's within 24 inches about, and you get your heart rate within their heart rate, and they will regulate your heartbeat. And that regulates the anxiety, it improves the mood. Um, in a traumatic situation like with police officers or law enforcement post-trauma, where they've had to go in and see the uglies of the uglies, that is the number one recommended therapy right now, and dogs are a close second to that. It's
yeah,
phenomenal
yeah.
data. They're finally admitting that
I'd love
that
to
works
get
better
that.
than
I'd
any
love to
drugs.
get that. I'd love to find that because that's,
Oh, I've got it, I'll send it to you.
yeah, please do. That's,
Yeah, it's fascinating.
yeah, it
It
really
includes,
is.
I think it includes testimony that was given to provide some funding for those alternative sorts of therapies for um, PTSD survivors for military. Um, and they talk about having tried every therapy to get rid of the night sweats, to get rid of the terrors that they just wake up to like that. And it's compelling. I
Yeah,
loved reading it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it really is. And we've been on the other side of it with the health journey. I've met a lot of people with severe PTSD and things because we found, some therapies that really help them, such as ketamine. Ketamine therapy is very good for PTSD and severe, withdrawals and different things like that. And
Why do you think it's still so controversial?
it's not as much now. Now there's almost, if you go into a big city, there's a ketamine clinic on every corner.
Oh,
So
there
it's,
definitely are.
but, uh, but yeah, it's a psychedelic basically, so, but like for me with ALS, it lowers the glutamate in the brain, which is huge because we
Okay.
had just way too much glutamate in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a gene that doesn't detox diesel fuel. And come to find out, I was chucked full of diesel fuel, and ketamine is one of the only ways to detox diesel fuel. And it also is wonderful for CRPS, which I still deal with in my right foot.
It helps that.
Oh yeah, it'll take it away sometimes for 3 months at a time. It's very, very good therapy. It's got to be done the right way. There's a lot of
It
these
helped me a
pop.
lot post-stroke. What
Yeah,
I remember was being in a space where I could start to file things. I could file all of these disparate memories into categories, and there's still holes. Like there's still big holes of memory that probably are never going to come back, but I remember specifically like putting file cabinets in a row in my brain and saying, okay, you belong here, you belong here. And it was, you'd think that that was just a dream, but
yeah.
it
It's
helped me
amazing
get
what it does
clear.
for clarity, and brain fog and stuff like that. Yeah,
Helped
it's
a
a
lot.
very good. I still do the treatments whenever I can. We're going back for Utah for Thanksgiving, and I got 3 or 4 ketamine treatments set up in place, because and we found a wonderful company that does it there, that does it the right way. They did I used to go to, I go where whenever I can afford it, but I went really consistently for a while to Miami to a ALS specific clinic. And there was a research study going on where they were giving ALS patients ketamine, and what they do is a 40 milligram push. And so it's real intense,
Fast.
the effects and everything, So
So
that
wait,
part
when
of
you
it,
say a push, they're pushing 40 all at once instead of the drip?
they might do it in 2 or 3 pushes, but
Oh,
in a
wow.
short period of time, pretty much all at once. And
Yeah, that's
so
big.
so the effects were over the top, but the afterwards was so worth it. And then we found this place in Kaysville, Utah, and they do a much higher dose, and they still do it through a push, but the push lasts about 40 minutes, and so it it's actually perfect.
Oh,
And
nice.
and so yeah, I really enjoy that treatment.
Mhm.
And but man, I've done everything under the sun.
It was out there, you tried it.
For me, holistic treatments are by far I've had the most results from. But I do everything functional medicine's huge for ALS.
Yeah.
And even some Western medicine. You can't ever get rid of Western medicine. You know what? If you break a leg, you have the type of hand trauma you have.
Yeah,
Western
surgeons are good
medicine,
things.
yeah, it's a good thing. But
Yeah, I
when you
carry
get
a lot of
into
metal in my body.
when you get into the medication and pharmaceuticals and stuff, that's where there's a big problem.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
got in a lot of
creating
trouble with that.
a lot of these huge diseases. Since COVID, you wouldn't believe the amount of people we meet that got ALS from the jab, you know. And
Really?
oh yeah,
Hmm.
we find them every time we go. And
Wow.
so we've learned how to, if you really want a vaccination, we've learned how you have to get vaccination. You got to get the batch number. And then you got to make sure your white blood cell count is exactly where it needs to be. And then you can get a vaccine, but the biggest problem is with ALS, there's no such thing as ALS. ALS is a combination of tons of problems. And it's mostly that we don't detox ourselves. We don't
Hmm.
detox normally, and we don't methylate normally. And so almost all of us have Lyme's disease. So that was one of the main reasons I started bee venom therapy, is because it eradicates Lyme disease. So I've completely cleared all the Lyme in my body.
Wow.
Um, it, it helps with tons of things, but I was chock full of heavy metals, and we figured that out with the CRPS. So they actually pulled out all my teeth. And that was a horrific deal. It ended up being 13 hours of surgery because
Oh, God.
that's a whole nother story, but I had a major trauma to my face when I was a teenager. And so when you look at my face during x-ray, it's just up from the nose down. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. And so I had so much infection in my mouth, I didn't even bleed when they pulled my teeth out. 13-hour surgery, and I barely bled. And the sheets of infection, the list was like a foot long. And it's so big they did a study and found out. And so and they also during the surgery punctured my sinuses. And
Looks like
so
you didn't have enough going on.
right. And so all the many of those infections pass the blood-brain barrier, and
Yeah.
boom. 6 months later, I started noticing what I know now as ALS symptoms.
Oh.
And so that's what it is. It's a lot of toxins build up. It actually starts in the liver. It's
Mhm.
metabolic. It's not neurological. But in order to get certain things, you have to work with a neurologist. And fortunately, I have an awesome neurologist. But yeah, it's just not what people think, and it's sad because in the ALS world, it's divided like the rest of the world. You know, everything's divided. It's it's amazing the majority of the people are just fine with, yeah, I got ALS. I'm going to get a $700,000 wheelchair and die. You know, and unfortunately, that's the majority of the population. They just get that news and they get as comfortable as they can and they pass away.
Say
And
goodbye.
but you know that you can fight it, you can slow it down, and you can stabilize. And if you really stay at it, you will reverse. You know, I know I'm going to reverse. It's just a matter of time, and I've had and I continue to have small improvements here and there. You know that. And I have some crazy things happen sometimes where it goes away for a few hours, and that's insane, you know. And
And just
that
celebrate and
wouldn't
don't sleep
happen if,
until it's gone.
yeah, that wouldn't happen if motor neurons were dead like they think they
True.
are. It
True.
wouldn't
Yeah.
happen or couldn't
They're
happen.
there.
They're there, they're just blocked, and our cells are very dirty. And so diet's a huge thing. We've learned so much. I'm the healthiest sick person you ever see. You look at my labs and they're absolutely beautiful. And they never
That's
were. They were
amazing.
always horrible. But you look at my labs, my hair scans, and my body scans and stuff now, and they're yeah, very beautiful. But the medical system's broken. The insurance won't pay for any of our ALS treatments. So we've used every bit of our retirement. We've used every bit of our savings, and it's just brutal. You know, I see these people taking loans out on their homes, and it's sad, and insurance won't cover any of it. You know, they'll cover
Not any,
labs.
not
They'll
any time
no,
because it's
they'll cover
experimental.
they'll
Is
cover
that
a few labs here and there. You know, things like that. But when it comes to the treatments you need, they won't cover a penny. And so that's been very difficult, and that's where Eric Dane, the most recent celebrity diagnosed with ALS, he was on Grey's Anatomy. What was he, Dr. McDreamy or something like that? I
huh?
can't remember.
No,
Dr.
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 McSteamy.
McSteamy, yeah, yeah. Well,
He was.
anyway,
That's too bad.
yeah, he's been diagnosed with ALS and he's progressing pretty rapidly, but he's he's trying to make a push for insurances to get more involved. And that's what we need, is a big voice like that. We had Stephen Hawkins, but that of course he passed away and everything's kind of gone.
But we need
But
to
there's
think
a
outside the box.
but yeah, there's more and more people starting to think outside the box. There's a community out there called healingals.org, and that's where you can really learn about the reversals and the type of effective treatments and everything. And
So if
so
it's a .org, it's a nonprofit.
yeah,
Mhm.
healingals.org.
Yeah, I'm on it.
In fact, they just had their third conference in Vegas. We weren't able to attend this time, but we watched most of it. But
Yeah,
they
October 26th to 30th, that one.
Yeah, they teach people how to do the right treatments, how to get your diet where it needs to be, and things like that. Show you all the options and meet the reversals and things like that. And the first reversal I ever met was a guy named Gunther, and I mean, he was amazing, and he reversed at Body Science where I go in Miami. And unfortunately, a heart attack took him the same day and the same age that it took his father, 40, I can't remember. I want to say 44 years old. So, but met some amazing people that are reversed. And the only common denominator of all the reversals is mental. You know, it's a positive mindset and it's mentally changing things through
Mm-hmm.
meditation and stuff like that. Well, I've always considered myself a very positive person. That's what I teach and preach and every, you know,
Yeah.
but when you start really dealing with mental and really getting in the deep dives, you know, I mean, it's amazing what things I might have suppressed as a child that you wouldn't think would bother you a bit, but you got to work it out. You got to clear it
You
out of
do.
you know, and so, yeah, the mental and positivity is the only common denominator of all these reversals. That's why there's never going to be one pill for ALS. There's never going to be one surgery for ALS. It's impossible
Mm-hmm.
because it all has to do with all these onion layers. You got to take away the Lyme's disease, the heavy metals, the toxins, the mold toxicity, you know. And unfortunately, I had all of the above and still dealing with some of it.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to gain muscle back. My calves are probably bigger now than they've ever been. I've always had chicken legs, but I couldn't even engage my calves. You couldn't even see calves, and now they're, you know, I can flex them and hold them, and I'm actually starting to feel a little bit of a bicep muscle where I haven't felt in years.
Nice.
And so it is reversible, and it just takes time and commitment and faith, you know, and that's what people need to understand when they get this. I try and I help coach a lot of different people, and
I bet you do.
that's probably the biggest thing is just trying to get them in that mindset, you know. Mine was definitely toxins. There was four of us diagnosed within a 2 year period within a 2 block radius. And that was because Hill Air Force Base was dumping jet fuel and diesel fuel into our grounds. And and so we got ton in that city we lived in where we raised our kids, we have tons of people with really rare, weird cancers and diseases and now several more people with ALS, you know. And so it's so I started with limb onset due to toxin overload, you
With
know,
what onset?
limb. So it started in my hands.
Oh, I
And
see.
a lot of
Okay.
people, it'll start in their throat or their speech
Mm.
or their legs or what have you. You know, there's bulbar, which affects your voice box and hits your throat first,
Hmm.
and that's a real tough one. You know,
Your voice sounds almost just like it always did. You
yeah,
sound older, Sterling. You've definitely aged.
my voice is definitely rough now because of the pneumonia. I
Sure,
got
but you still
pneumonia
sound
for
like
the
you.
first time last January and then got it again this month. And oh, unfortunately, that's one of the things you battle with this disease. And I've lost too many friends to it, but I've learned how to keep the phlegm at bay, you know, and saliva overload and things like that. And that's all holistic stuff, but you know, it's I just try and teach as many people as I can and get them going. And we got a pretty neat little group now. In fact, tomorrow we're starting our first Zoom where we're getting together in Zoom and just trying to keep everybody positive. You know, we have
That's lovely.
simple rules like you can't talk about progression, you can't talk about your ailments. You can ask what helps with this or what helps with that, but
No pity
through
parties.
in this with people with big diseases like this, and the treatments are so expensive. The first thing they want to hear is when did you see any improvements? Did you notice any improvements? How long did it take? You know, it's people are almost so desperate that it's
So hard.
taken over their body because of stress.
Right.
And so,
When you do the Zoom calls, are you recording them?
yeah, we're starting our first one tomorrow, but yeah, we'll definitely record them.
So have you done a lot of Zoom things?
No. Yeah.
Okay. So make sure this is, you can take it or leave it, but if I were you, I would record all of them and make sure the transcription is turned on. And I don't know why you wouldn't publish those out as news releases and consider that original research that's done from survivors.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and I'd love to pick your brain today about a bunch
Definitely.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also starting a pretty broad podcast, and I know
Cool.
nothing about it. I just have a lot of connections, and I like to talk. So,
Yeah.
we're
I
gonna
think you should
figure
do
it
it.
out. We're gonna figure it out. But
Yeah, I told
uh,
Eric. Well, do we have to wait till it thaws in Alaska? Like, are we looking next summer before it's even
yeah, I
possible
want you guys to
to
come in
make
June
out?
or July or August.
Okay.
It's beautiful up here this time of year too, but
I
you're
don't
gonna
want to
want to
freeze.
come.
I
It's
don't
not
miss
it's
Wyoming
not
in the
near as
winter.
cold. It's not near as cold where we live compared to Wyoming. Wyoming dominates. We live on the
Well, and
coast, so
Bridger was
we're
almost
like shit.
warm next to Rock Springs.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Yeah.
I used
So
to work
yeah,
at
compared to Wyoming,
KQSW country
uh,
radio station.
yeah,
Remember that? It
yeah.
was my weekend high school job, and I remember reading 40 below zero wind chill. Never, never, never again.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
Eric
we
in Rock
don't get
Springs?
any of that. We'll have a cold snap here and there, but we don't get any of that. It's calm.
Nice.
It's pretty nice here all winter long, but it's definitely winter, but not. Last year we didn't get any snow. It's
Whoa.
just kind of like, you just never know. But
Do you have the polar bears?
no, you got to go way north for that. We have lots of brown bear though, lots of the big brown bear and black bear and grizzly bear, or interior. But here on the coast, we have the brown bear and the black bear and caribou and moose and
Hmm. My friend does an event in Mongolia where they saddle and ride caribou.
wow.
So I've
Did
seen
you know you could ride a caribou? That they could be saddle trained?
I've seen a few videos and pictures of people riding moose and caribou, and it's pretty comical. But
They like race on the caribou. It's a horse, not a horse race, it's an endurance race, but they
wow,
sub out caribou.
I see them pulling sleighs all the time, so I can see it happening. But
They must be pretty mellow little creatures.
yeah, and they're bigger than you think. At least a Bering's Land caribou,
Mm.
they're big and they got a lot of fat on them. They're delicious. Um, But yeah, they're a lot, but they're about the size between a big mule deer and an elk, in between, you know. But yeah, beautiful country, beautiful wildlife. But yeah, we'd love to have you guys. We need to get
We'll do it.
dates planned out and activities and stuff. But yeah, plan on anytime June, July, or August. July, middle of July to the end of July is kind of the peak season. That's like the mass tourist season. And we get a lot of people from Anchorage during that time too, because they all come here and fish. So,
You know, I like Wyoming level tourism where nobody else is there.
yeah, so I would come in June or August
Okay.
or early July.
Probably June. Eric is still on school year calendars.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he wraps by the end of May and then back to teachers back at he never stops, but teachers back at school in August.
Has he even got retirement on his radar, or is he 5 years, huh?
We are counting them down.
Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
works really, really hard.
Oh, yeah. He's still a superintendent, isn't he?
Yeah, he just finished, I think it was 2 or 3 years as the president of SSDA, the Small School Districts Association. So he's been testifying and lobbying and DC, and
Well, so he's real
I
busy.
yeah, I'm ghostwriting his book with him. I have cartoon illustrations done of Eric snorkeling. He's so afraid of stingrays. Giant man and stingray pops out in Hawaii, just books it. So, and then the other thing when we're there, it's illegal to touch the sea turtles, but they're friendly where we go. They touch you, and it doesn't me at all. I'm happy to be pet
Yeah, I
by a
like the
turtle.
title, Fit Swimming with Turtles and Avoiding Eels.
It is
Something like
swimming
that.
with turtles, dodging eels, resilience in
Dodging
small
Eels. Okay.
schools, or something like that. So
Okay.
I've got him with his little snorkeling mask and his little flowery Hawaii shorts, and then the eel coming out to bite him, and then the turtle saving his life. Very Eric.
That's awesome.
He's told that story from at so many conferences. Like he's just known for that. He's funny. He's a silly man.
That's great. That's awesome. I look forward to reading it.
Yeah, we need to get we should do like the four of us on a Zoom and just hang out and catch
Yeah,
up and
that'd be
pick
real.
brains.
Yeah, for sure.
The we're hosting the First Legends event in St. George,
Oh, okay. When's that?
January 20th.
Okay.
If you want to come and speak at it, you're certainly invited.
I think I'd love to do that. Gotta
My
look at
boy
the
is hosting
schedule to
it at
make
the
sure,
Kiln.
but I think that'd be
What's
great.
that?
Got to double check the old schedule, but I think I'd love to do that. I go to Vegas to do my treatment, so that would work
Oh,
out
perfect.
perfect. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna do so it's the week of Martin Luther King. So we'll do pregame and postgame.
yeah.
And we've got vendors coming with like helicopter rides through the canyons or Lake Powell and Horseshoe Bend and all of that. Or we've got Ole Lindgren is a mountain man in southern Utah that took over my horse when I had my stroke because he got a little anxious about the fact that I was anxious and it was not safe. We were doing major Wyoming rodeos every time I tried to work with him. So he's going to come and bring a string of horses to go through like some of the backcountry. Then we've got Jeep tours. There's Do you remember when we were in college, the Lavercan Hot Springs, like down on the corner
Oh
by the
yeah.
old
Oh, yeah.
bridge?
Yeah.
It's changed. They've got Zion Hot Springs, and they have a spring for that like represents the chemical components of the most well-known, healthiest um, hot water springs. It's a beautiful, beautiful spa out there.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. I haven't seen it since then, but we actually that was the first treatment center I opened up was in Tokerville, Utah. So
Oh, I do remember that.
we knew that area really well. You kind of
Yep.
take a
So
look.
those springs and that water, but now it's this beautiful
So,
high-end spa. So we'll do that, and then uh would love to catch up with you there, and we'll be filming it, so uh can get some footage for you to blast out.
yeah, that'd be great. I've kind of been really enjoying public speaking. I've been doing quite a bit of it lately
I
and
bet.
been really enjoying it. So I'd love
Yeah.
to. I love your what you're starting with the legends. A little bit I've looked into it just sounds really awesome and
It's
really
not
neat.
new, it's
So
old. Like I started it, it actually started growing up in Wyoming, but then in college, Eric and I worked at the Multicultural Center. So we were teaching and hanging with all the tribes there right then. So it's been a long time. But then at COVID, we shut it down for consulting, and I went pro bono, and we put online learning in all the schools.
oh, cool.
Then I
Yeah,
had a stroke.
I listened to a bunch of that. I know you
You
were
liked it?
the pioneer of starting online schooling, which is just awesome. So,
It wasn't awesome at the time. We were not well liked.
oh yeah,
Good thing we have it now.
yeah.
Kind of needed it during that
Now,
COVID stuff.
now everybody's blessed for having it, especially
sure.
during that time. So,
Okay, so the last question that I like to ask is if I have you close your eyes,
have me close my eyes.
close your eyes. Okay, I want you to picture what you would like to communicate or say most that you would be known for, either a mantra, your own legend, your own philosophy of life. Like, if I give you one sentence to sum it all up, and it's the last piece of advice you can give to the grandkids, to all the kids that you worked with, to uh, people in future that take on your mission with ALS or with the youth services or homeless youth or drug addicted, uh, any of those things. Like, what would be the lifeline that you would offer? One sentence.
Faith and love is everything. With faith and love, you can accomplish anything. So,
I love that. We've missed you.
and you know, faith goes in, there's faith is so broad. But you have to have faith in everything, or you're going to have a hard time being successful, and happiness is going to be fleeting. And you want to keep happiness in your life, and that's done through faith and love. So that's what
Very
I would say,
nice.
I guess.
I love it. I will get Eric into a Facebook group with us and we'll wrangle his calendar.
Well, give him a big hug for me. Like I said lately, sometimes that's what I do. Try and envision my body doing things I used to do. And I always go back to those softball days. That was a just fun, real tight family and traveling everywhere together, practicing every day together. It was,
Everything. Poker nights.
you did
Oh,
everything.
you guys
So
and your poker. I
we
don't
did
know which of you
everything.
ended up owing the other more money, but
Yeah, I really miss Mike. I haven't talked to him forever. I need to give him a call, but
you need to. You know, he lost his wife
I do. Yeah, yeah.
and he remarried and adopted two daughters. So he's got two sons and two daughters.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to track him down. It's been a
He's not
while.
hard to find. I'll hook you up.
His number is the same. It's probably been 20 years.
I don't think so. He's been in LA, then in New Hampshire, then yeah. I'll help you out.
Where's he at now? Is he back east or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He is. He got a doctorate in, I think, ministry or theology.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
I know. It's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. Good times, good times.
For sure. Sure. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds great. It's good to
I
hear
think
you.
we're all due a nap.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
Nap and some lunch and some drink and then we'll go at it again.
Yep.
Well, thank you for having me, Kim. It's great to see you, and tell Eric and your boys hello for me. And we think
Got
about
it.
you guys often. So,
You guys are sticky.
In Alaska.
yep.
Deal.
This
We
summer.
are all
Let's
healthy
do
enough
it.
to get there now.
Let's do it this summer.
Okay. I'm going to put you in a group with Eric. Sterling, it's your job to beat him into a schedule.
Okay, I'll do it.
I think you can do it. Take him on.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do
Pretend you're an eel.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Thanks.